Welcome everybody to another edition of Broke Black Critics, featuring myself, Romello Catois,
And Remy LeBeau.
and our special guest, Lonnie Long.
King. The King.
So, if you're just now tuning in, and if you haven't been on our show in the past week or so, we have not abandoned, but turned away from the visual aspect of the show. And now we're just, basically keeping the audio. We were trying out some things and, seeing how it play out. So, today was a very interesting day in the media world. And specifically on the topic of religion. And I posed the question on Facebook today for our listeners, viewers,
and this was before. Hold on, and this was before the Junior Seau suicide.
Right. So, first of all, rest in peace to Junior Seau, and our prayers go out to his family. But the question was posed earlier today around, I'm gonna say around 10, 11 o'clock. If someone kills themselves just to see Jesus, are they going to hell? Now, we got a lot of comments. I mean, as of right now, 39 and counting comments. Very few likes, so which means that people would like to be heard versus
liking this.
just giving a like on the click because they feel they have to say something about it. And there are a lot of comments. And so we're going to actually point out a few comments.
Hold on. Look. Hold on. Now,
hold on. Before we read the comments.
Hold on. Let me say what I said.
Hold on. Before we get to that.
Okay.
For those who don't follow the Bible says, "Thou shalt not kill." And within the Bible also, actually Exodus 20 and 13, thanks to Coretta, who is following us on Facebook. Thou shalt not kill. And within the Bible, it says that we should not kill ourselves. It is a sin because we should have faith in God that He will provide and make things better.
Okay. Now, with that being said, the question that I posed, now I got a few comments, but the question that I posed was simply this. Can a person commit suicide? Could they go to their immediate death, knowing that they're going to die? Is that suicide? And with that comment being said, did Jesus commit suicide knowing, because he knew he was going to die? He didn't try to change his situation. He knew that he was walking into his death. He went in there knowing that he was going to die. So is that suicide? So we got a comment where someone said, well, I'll let Romello say it, but keep in mind, this conversation spun into a different, we started talking in a different content at that point. So we're about to read the comment in just a few. But I want to hear people's comment on that. Because I have heard people say, and this is true, it's suicide if you go in there. It's a suicide mission. If I walk down the street with a whole bunch of bloods and I'm wearing all blue, throwing up a gang sign, is that I'm basically committing suicide?
Damn right.
So, did Christ commit suicide?
Well, that's the question that you're posing.
That's the question.
I'm going to ask Lonnie.
Yes, sir.
If someone kills themselves just to see Jesus, and that's another thing, people really didn't address that aspect of the comment or the post.
Just to see
Jesus, are they going to hell?
Hold on. Lonnie.
Well, first and foremost, nobody knows. We're all human. That should calculate it, but only God knows. I don't know. You can't say they will or they won't.
And for those people saying that suicide is a sentence to hell, is a sentence to eternal damnation, that brings us back to a situation or a conversation that we had earlier when we said that the bravest people on the slave ships were the ones that jumped off the boat and committed suicide. So did they? Are they doomed to burn?
Ooh, not been burned.
We know.
Well,
I want to hear from you, because
listen now to be honest, to be 1,000. According to the good book, you're going to hell.
Hold on. And with that being said, I want these people that comment to hear this, because with that being said, that brought us back to a conversation that we had just prior to getting online. How was it beneficial for a slave master to slave your soul? What was your religion before slavery? You weren't a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why you're a Christian, because the slave master gave it to you.
Which makes me think, is the Nation of Islam a rebel religion? Because a lot of slaves, once they went free, that hated their masters, turned Muslim.
Well, I'm not 100% sure about that one, cuz.
That's why it's a question.
Oh, no, I don't think that's 100% sure.
And just sitting here talking, we were talking about this earlier, it makes sense for a slave owner to tell a slave that if you kill yourself, you are doomed for eternity. You will burn for eternity.
Because you're his property. He don't want his property to kill itself. I mean,
and once upon a time, the closest sign and resemblance of God was fire. Then didn't some Greek god, Prometheus, wasn't it? They got bound to the rock for giving the humans fire. I could be wrong. Was it Prometheus?
I don't know. We can look it up.
Prometheus bound. You didn't read the book?
Huh? I didn't read the book. Fuck no. I'm not gonna read something that the white man told me to read. Listen.
Disclaimer. Each individual's thoughts
are they on? Are they on? And I will say that these are my own personal thoughts. Like I said, how can you, as a black person, now this is strictly going on your black heritage. How can you be proud to be a Christian? How can you be proud of a book that they justify the killing of an innocent person to? Everybody on this thing that talks about the Bible don't say nothing when an innocent person is killed. But they got their opinion on suicide. And Jesus initially committed suicide.
I'm still stuck on that one.
I mean, come on. This is for the people who are. I read most of the entire New Testament. You can't tell me shit. Explain to me what your original religion is. Like I said, if the bravest people on the slave ship committed suicide to stay out of slavery, you ain't telling me that they burned. You can't tell me with a straight face that they burning. And you can't tell me that anybody who commits suicide is burning. God gonna make a way. Who is your God?
And that's another thing, because it seems like with me posting that status, everybody has different opinions on what would happen in the simple instance of someone killing themselves. And it was ironic that later on today, allegedly, Junior Seau killed himself. Commit suicide.
Yeah.
By gunshot to the chest. Now, the way that the media is portraying Junior Seau, he's a fun-loving guy. He's a family man. He put all his heart and soul into the game of football, in which, to a certain extent, he was a slave.
Yeah, just like the rest of it.
To the dollar.
To the dollar, correct.
The almighty dollar.
The almighty
dollar.
Bow, 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 bow.
It ain't what it used to be.
Hobos used to ask you for $1, now the motherfuckers ask you for $3.
Almighty God.
That Devin the dude.
And hold on. With that being said, hold on. And getting back to this religion tip. With that being said, isn't churches basically serving their master, the almighty dollar? Don't make me start talking shit to y'all.
Well.
Guess what?
Contrary to popular belief,
go to a church and they ask you for your W-2s and they ask you for tithes. Then when you don't got no money, you can do something outside of money, but they want that damn money. Come on now.
Well, like I said, I know from personal experience, not all churches are money hungry and ran from those financial incentives, but I do get where you're coming from. Because I've seen churches. I've seen churches make a difference in people's lives.
No.
I mean, I've seen churches run with the sole purpose of building a community. I've seen it happen. I'm actually a product of that because nowadays, I don't see as many church programs. For instance, like I said, I mentioned this before on the show. My grandmother ran a summer lunch program. And I've seen, like, the kids that was in that program, that summer lunch program, the majority of them today graduated from college. They have productive lifestyles. They actually taking care of their kids. Like, some churches do build a foundation for people. Now, I do understand, like I said, I'm not knocking what you're saying, but I'm not going to say as a whole the churches are in it for the dollar and the tithes and, whatnot,
I'll say it for you because guess what? That same church that you just gave that praise to, if I came there with $1 million and said, "Here you go, I'm doing it for the Lord," they ain't gonna ask where the money came from, and they damn sure ain't gonna turn it down.
Since we're on the topic of churches, I always ask myself this question. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it says in the good book, I'm probably not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it says, do not make any splitting, I don't know the word, but any images of me. I take it that means pictures of Jesus, crosses, things of that sort.
Well, it also says in the good book and in the Quran that man has a thirst for knowledge, but yet everybody don't try to seek knowledge. They take what someone has already given them. It says in the Bible that man has a thirst for knowledge. Do anybody even know what that means? They don't even go out to find out the answers for themselves. So that brings me back to how can you say anyone's going to burn for committing suicide? Life is hard. Real talk.
Damn. I'm still doing commercial.
No.
Well, like I said, to me, the most interesting thing is that we have so many differences in opinion, but we all are on the basis of on the same, the same basis of Christianity and the Bible. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is to why, if there is one God, so to speak, why are there so many different interpretations, and why is there so much division?
Because
within following one book, one guideline. Because
there is power in confusion. You don't need a book. You don't need a book to tell you that killing somebody's wrong. That's given. You don't need a book to tell you what's right and what's wrong. It's already ingrained in your soul. When black folks in general know that there's a problem, they feel it deep down in their soul. That's real. I mean, since we on the topic, I mean, we were just watching what's it called? What's the news thing that we just finished watching?
It was NBC.
It was on NBC. Mm-hmm. How fitting that most of your wars started by Christians. Most of your wars were started by Christians. You look back. Look at them. How fitting that most of them was started by Christians. I mean, come on now. Who got to jump in the ring on me with this one here? You and Christians justify war. They will justify war to you.
Well, I have seen a lecture online where, slavery was Justified.
Is
in the Bible.
Thank you.
It is. I've read. It's started with E.
I mean, it's amazing how all these things can be justified in a book that says don't kill. It's like it says don't kill. Unless this happens.
And I quote now. What Remy is referring to is the NBC special where they talk about the 1 year anniversary of the killing of
Osama Bin Laden.
And you know what? We were talking about time earlier too. We'll get to that later, but it's been 1 whole year since Bin Laden's been killed. Mm-hmm. It really don't feel like it's been a year.
It don't. It don't. And hold on. And then to my mind, to the topic that we having, my mind couldn't wrap the fact that these Christian folks that probably know the Bible better than most of the people that we talking to were laughing and joking about a man being killed.
Yeah, and what else is interesting is that you can't be the president of the United States without having some type of Bible-based religious belief. You can't do it.
You can't do
it because that's some of the propaganda or political warfare that they used against Obama when
he was running.
Yeah, when he was running for office.
Correct.
They tried to call him a Muslim. We all remember that New York Times cover with him and Michelle fist pounding. He had the turban wrapped around his head. And how fitting that he would be the one in office that killed Bin Laden.
Come on now. Again.
You can't be a Muslim and run this country.
You cannot.
But you can kill one.
But you can damn sure kill one. Ain't that something? Isn't that something?
Oh, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. It says, "Thou shalt not kill."
You know what? I got a new quote for you.
Hold on. We've seen a lot of movies.
Yes, we have.
But why did the movie Triple X pop in my mind? Just now. They were so technologically advanced. They had bullets with tranquilizers. Oh no. Better yet, there was a bear in the tree. The bear in the tree was a threat, but he was stuck. And they used a tranquilizer gun to shoot him down. All these tasers that we got, these little red dart arrows,
and they killed this man with his family inside.
Damn.
They didn't bring him in. They brought in Timothy McVeigh. Guess what? To all those Christians out there, this is the episode that probably piss a lot of people off. But here's my quote: Christians, the religion of the slaves. That's what it is. Christianity was created just to give the slaves.
Well. To try not to single out Christians. Christianity wasn't even, the people that brought the slaves over weren't considered Christians. If I'm not mistaken. The Christian group was cultivated in so-called America. They were not Christians when they brought the boats over.
Hold on, you saying the people that brought the slaves over weren't? How much on the bet?
No, I'm saying I'm not for sure.
Oh, okay.
But it's my understanding that Christians that developed in America, because we all know they were called Quakers, and you had so quote unquote purists, so they weren't Christians when they came over.
Listen. What people are forgetting about the people that came over here to America and took over an already developed land, basically, because it was people already over here. It was many different people.
Right. So
but they were all Christians. They were all different. But the people that came over here had money.
But listen, what I'm saying, they didn't have a title. They didn't know what they were when they came over.
They knew what they were when they came over here. The one of the first slave ships was called what?
Good Ship Jesus. But that doesn't make them Christians.
It wasn't Good Ship Muhammad.
Listen, man. That doesn't mean they were Christian. They didn't call themselves Christians until after a certain time.
It wasn't Good Ship Muhammad, and the damn sure wasn't Good Ship Moses. Good Ship Jesus. What more they need? What more you need to?
The Bible existed well before slavery. Is what I'm saying.
What they gotta put the Bible in front of your face too?
Okay.
They were Christians. You know it.
Now, hold on. Money talks, right?
Money talks.
Yeah. Jeremy Lin's going to start in the Eastern Conference.
Guess what? Money talks, and guess what? Money talks in Christianity.
Like I said, Jeremy Lin is going to start. Hold on. Jeremy Lin's going to start for the Eastern Conference All-Star team.
That's what I said.
Okay.
We took that. I made that bet with you. Don't worry.
Okay. So you want to make a bet about that the Christian
take your time.
Doing the migration.
Word it right.
Doing the migration.
Word it right. Word it right. You mean the middle passage?
Doing the migration. They were called Christians before they got here. Is that what you're saying?
They were Christians, goddammit.
Do you want to put bread on that?
How much you want to put?
How much you want to put?
The hand is, ladies and gentlemen, if this is on camera, the hand is out. What do you want to put on it?
Let's put $2 on it.
$2 is fine with me. Hey, guess what? Guess what? $2 is what? 3 minutes of my time?
But to move forward, we were talking about the fact that America does a lot of killing, but it is based on the premise of the Bible.
Correct.
It has the Bible as its foundation.
Correct. Now hold on.
And there's always a justification.
Now listen. And this is for everybody that's listening. Now we may talk a lot of stuff on here, but I want people to realize, especially if they are Christians, you are directly. If you're a Christian, what do you think? How do you think God looks at you when you are directly responsible for this stuff? If you think about it, everyone pays taxes. Your money goes to all these things that's happening. So you are directly, just like a man who tries to kill his wife and hires a hitman, you are directly responsible. So what makes you think that you any different? Just my opinion. Again, this came from that topic, people, and you were hearing the aftermath of it.
Okay, now we got a comment from Preezy. Shout out to Preezy out in Pennsylvania. Thank you for watching. She says, versus me saying that you have to have a Christian base religious belief to become president, you have to become Illuminati. Now,
oh my God, here we go with this Illuminati mess, yo.
Well, listen, we don't supposedly we don't know what Illuminati is based upon. We don't know if Illuminati even exists.
Listen,
I think Illuminati is just a distraction.
Yeah,
me personally,
I believe in a lot of. I believe there are some secret shit. There's some secret stuff out there. But if you think for 1 second that they're gonna put it in your face, and if you think that the people who telling you about this is right, then you'll believe anything, just like you believe that the slaves were Christian when they came over here. I'm dead ass.
Which confirms what I said. They weren't.
The slaves weren't Christians.
Yeah, but neither. Oh, you're right.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
You're right. We weren't.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We weren't. So, but that is a good question though. What were we before? And you know what? I think that is what's missing in our society, honestly, because I think that the way people are rebelling, like specifically younger people, I think they are rebelling against
the system.
I think they're rebelling against what's so called in order, like doing what's right, and staying I think it's so much disorder because the truth has not been unfolded and it's like why follow the straight and narrow path when it obviously is flawed?
Hold on. Now, yes, that's true. Now, I got a question for you two and the people out there.
Okay.
Now, what's the use of religion if you already had to connect with God? If you already had to connect with God, then what's the use of what you need religion for? If you are already one with God, if you already one with the universe, then what's the use of religion?
Good question.
Again, religion is just a tool used to keep people in control. Keep your mind effed up. That's real.
Well, religion is the division of spirituality because there's so many different there's so many different religions, but I think me personally, I honestly think religion has its place in people's lifestyle. I think that one thing about the Bible is that it does say you have the choice to choose what you believe in.
But see, that's the but see, and I hate to keep doing that to you, but that's the thing. Throughout history, did you know that throughout history, the Islamic faith was the only faith that didn't destroy a civilization's libraries, and they allowed you to be whatever you wanted to be. Christians are the only religion that has never done that. Religion is the reason why they burned they destroyed the library in Egypt. Religion is the reason why when they wipe a civilization out, they wipe out all text of them. Christianity is the only religion that does that. The Islamic faith hasn't done. You can look this up. This is true. The Islamic faith is the only religion that has not done that. They allowed you to be what you wanted to be and allowed a civilization to have and keep their texts. And this is after they conquered them. The Christian faith has never done that. So that goes back. What were you before you was a Christian? We are reading some comments right now, people.
Ain't no way around it.
Is he watching the show?
No.
Oh. Well.
Now going back to the topic.
Uh-huh.
If someone kills themselves just to see Jesus, are they going to hell? And the correct answer is no one knows, because no one has been to the other side. Now, I don't know how, and it's hard for people to believe when people say, okay, I've seen the other side, I've seen the light, and I came back. It's hard to believe them because very few people get to experience that, because there's been a lot of different cases and testimonies that I got pulled up and I got sent back. But
and it's been cases where somebody said I got pulled down.
Yeah, it's been a lot of cases about that.
That's real. I've heard a story where a man said he was on his deathbed and felt like people were scratching at him, pulling down at his soul. Said he came back, completely changed his life. I mean, you don't know if these people telling the truth or not. I can't say yay or nay.
Mm-hmm. It's just something you gotta see for yourself. But I mean, like I said, there is no right or wrong answer. We don't know. But it's, like I said, it's interesting to see what people had to say. So we're gonna go through a few comments. And one of the first comments was, in the Bible, killing yourself is a sin. But it's in the Bible though. So a lot of people feel like the Bible has different flaws and different contradictions because it was written by man.
Hold on, read that one. I want to see. Okay. I can't see.
Now another one says, if they're already saved by Jesus, then there's no way they can go to hell. Jesus did not die and rise again for nothing. If God is not a man that he should lie, nor change his mind, if he promised eternal life for confessing Christ as our Savior, then why would he send us to hell for killing ourselves?
Ooh.
And I mean, it makes sense that, well, it kind of doesn't. I asked the question specifically in order to see Jesus, because I think that somebody could really be caught up in their faith and their belief of Jesus that, I'm so in love with Jesus, I want to see him right now, today, at this moment, and just let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
And guess what? I hope that they don't have to come back to this hell. Because here is where you burn.
Literally.
In other comments, if you saved by Jesus, he should call you home, not you. Now, with that being said, we have a lot of free will. I mean, free will is the only thing that we have, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
and guess what? I hate to say it like this, we don't even have that.
Well, you got free will.
Guess what? When somebody manipulating your will, you don't have.
No, because Here's the thing.
Choose A, B, or C. You can't choose nothing else but A, B, or C.
Yeah,
Your will is gone because you only can choose one of the three.
You have the right to not choose nothing.
Guess how many people you know choose make
you're right,
that choice?
but you have the will to not choose nothing.
You don't have that will. They effing with your mind. The mind is the most powerful thing that the body has, but it's also the easiest to manipulate.
I mean, but with that being said, you know, you choose not to go out here and live in the wilderness, chop down a few trees, build you a house, shoot. You know what I'm saying?
I don't. Hold on. No. Don't say that because I don't choose not to do that. I just don't have the resources to do it because I damn sure ain't learned how to survive in the wilderness.
You have all the
school.
You have all the resources that those indigenous people that ran from the coast when that tsunami hit, and they came back when the water settled down. So you can't say you don't have this.
Guess what? That's an excuse. I don't have.
That's an excuse.
That's not no damn excuse. I didn't learn this. No one taught me this. You have to be taught survival. Is that true? That is true.
If you wanted to learn it, you could learn it.
For a price.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, hold on.
There you
go. But check this out.
For a price.
Check this out. How was Las Vegas?
My
point exactly.
I didn't pay.
My point exactly.
I didn't pay.
My point exactly.
I didn't pay.
You paid for something.
No, I did not.
You paid for something.
No, I did not.
You didn't pay for Nathan.
Nothing. Unfortunately, and I'm not proud of it, but I didn't pay for nothing.
Nathan.
Nothing.
Nathan. You didn't pay for Nathan.
Not a damn thing. I didn't have anything.
Okay. Right. Hey, that's a nice broke black critter hat you got there.
Yes, it is.
Uh-huh.
I did pay for this.
My point exactly. An axe don't cost as much as that hat costs you.
It don't?
It do not.
I will take you to the store this week. And you will find out.
Oh man!
Here
we go. Excuses.
You get yourself a cheap ass. You ain't gonna be able to cut down a twig. Thank you.
Excuses.
My point exactly.
Excuses.
Money.
Excuses.
Money.
Talking about something. I ain't had the money.
Nigga,
please.
Guess what? If you really wanted to, I'm about to make your argument for you. You should have asked about the teeth in my mouth.
Listen. I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to go to nothing that was shining.
Shining, dog. I'm shining.
That big Nike check on the side of your jacket.
Oh, this ain't mine.
Oh man.
Man. I'm a hand-me-down.
Remy, chill, y'all.
Hand-me-down.
We have the will.
Hand-me-down, nigga.
Long story short, we have the will to do whatever we please. You know, it's in your will to be out there in the forest.
That's what you saying. They cut down trees like left and right. By the time, look, before you know it, ain't gonna be no more forest to run to.
but no. It's crazy, but you know what though? It's funny how you know perception is everything too, and we don't want to stray too away from the topic, but you know we look at our ancestors walking around with leaf bikinis and flies on their eyeballs, walking around with sticks, you know. But we watching these big flat screen TVs that make our eyes bad and eat snacks that give us cancer. So when we say, I'm not gonna say you, but when we say we can't live out here in the wilderness like that because we can't afford it or ain't nobody ever taught us. If we wanted to know, we could know because they put it right in front of our face. And you know what they put it in front of our face say? You don't want to be like that.
There it is.
You don't want to drink muddy. You don't want to drink muddy water.
Hold on. You don't want fresh water.
Oh man.
You don't want. Hold on. You don't want good meat.
You don't want that lion to run you down.
Yeah. You don't want the scenery.
Yeah.
You're right.
Fresh fruit.
You're right. Guess what? Christian.
I can't blame it on Christian.
I can, because guess what? Guess what you're not going to see? A Christian doing no shit like that.
Evangelist.
Guess what? You want to know what they do when they drop them peoples out there? They're about to invade your nation. If if a Christian goes to a country to do all this quote unquote work for the Lord, America is coming in to whiten up the place.
I'm done with this thing.
Come on, man.
I'm dead at yo. When a Christian goes someplace, when they go somewhere to save these people, they about to whiten up the place. Prime example, look at the movies. South Africa. Look at how it looked. What's it called? Desperate Housewives of Atlanta? They went from Atlanta to go to South Africa, which looks like Atlanta. Huh. Think about that. They went from
I'm not gonna say Christian, and I'm not gonna say whiten up the place, but I'm gonna say that when the American dollar is somewhere.
Yes, you do.
Cause Cancun didn't look like Cancun to me.
Cancun.
It looked like Miami.
Yes, it did. Cancun. What is this, Mexico?
Where the Mexicans?
Where they at? Jeez.
Let's go back to some comments.
No.
This is another comment here. Says,
hold on, people. We getting there.
The Big Bang, the reason I'm alive.
And it got into different heated debates because some people disagree with what others were saying, and I mean, it's crazy. And one of our followers said, bottom line, it is a sin to commit suicide. So regardless of if you saved or not, if you kill yourself, you will be going to hell. Now that's interesting. Now, the Bible says, if you ask for forgiveness, you are forgiven.
Mm-hmm.
So in that moment where you pop about 30 pills, and you're doomed from the time you swallow those pills, and you don't have no plans on calling any paramedics, and you ask for forgiveness.
Hold on. I got one better for you. When you eat things that you know are detrimental to your health,
oh man,
knowing that when you get older, it could possibly kill you, is that suicide?
I'm glad you said that. A big trend in the Food and Drug Administration is that companies and products must put, or I don't know whether they have to do it by regulation, but a lot of people are saying gluten free.
What?
And isn't gluttony or gluttony is one of the 7 deadly sins?
Yeah.
You haven't noticed that?
I have never seen that. Yo,
different products have gluten free on it.
I have not seen that.
Yeah, pay attention.
Ooh.
So that means all along, all this time, they've known that these foods that we eat can cause people to,
to pass.
No, to indulge in these foods.
But then that goes back to me saying, if you are doing something that it may not kill you right here, because people look at heroin and look down at it.
Can't just have one chip.
Let's go to something even more recent and more relevant. You were in Vegas recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
You went to the burger spot where a couple of people have had strokes, or whatever from eating too much, and it's legal.
It's illegal.
So has this country gone from the book to the law? Because if you're not breaking any laws, you can do it until the law changes.
Correct.
Especially with this fracking. You know what fracking is, right?
Nah, what the hell is
fracking is when you drilling into the into the earth or in the water supply, for so-called clean energy or natural energy sources. It's a new trend, fracking. But right now, they're able to do it because it's within the law. But you got a lot of people that's trying to be against it because it's messing with the water supply
now
and whatnot.
What's crazy about that is this: some of the laws you can line up with the good book. So some of them coincide. Some things you can do that you can do in the Bible. Again, it's all in wording.
Yeah.
It's all in wording. It's like, again, it goes back to and I hate to keep bringing this up, but this is the biggest and the one that we can explain the fastest. Murders. I mean, it clearly states, "Thou shalt not commit murder," or whatever it says. "Thou shalt not commit murder." But yet, people will justify the murder of another.
Some of your top men in the Bible were murderers.
There you go. There you go. It's all in the way you word it.
They praised David and Goliath, and David killed Goliath.
Could have talked to him. Could have saved him. Could have saved him. He could have saved him. The Lord sent me here. And here's the Bible right here.
Pluck.
But no, he killed him. So at what point is it wrong? At what point do you start pulling at straws? Everyone pulls their straws in the Bible that benefits themselves. Everybody does it. Everybody that I've met that thinks that they are knowledgeable in the Bible pulls at straws for when they want to do something. Everybody does it. I'm talking about from who gets married to who gets killed. Everyone pulls their straws. Well, here it says in the Bible that you can't do this, but we can do that. Everyone does it. I mean, that's just the truth.
Now, back to your statement about, technically, is it suicide when, somebody eats something, going back to the food, somebody eating something knowing that it could kill them?
Yeah.
Are they condemned?
Are they condemned? Of course, when you pulling at straws, you're going to say what? No. But you just as bad as the person who pulled the trigger if you eating McDonald's every day and you know the outcome of what's going to happen. You just as bad as the person who pulled the trigger if you smoke every day. You just as bad as the person who pulled the trigger if you drink every day. And you just as bad as the person who pulled the trigger if you sit down and watch TV for the rest of your life. Because that's killing people too. So at what point do you stop pulling at straws? This is wrong, but this not. They say in the Bible that this is wrong, but this not. Come on now. This is true. I mean, I'll give you a prime example right now. Everybody want to talk about the Bible. Everybody want to talk about this. Prime example. When Jesus knocked over the thing in the church, the golden thing, when he knocked that over, he wasn't knocking it down for the money. He was knocking it down because he didn't want people to be too materialistic. You're trapped here because of materialistic shit. He was trying to get you to break free from that. The reason why the Jews didn't believe he was the Messiah, it had something to do with what he was saying, but it also had more to do with he wasn't the king. He was born poor. Materialistic shit kills you. But you don't see nobody giving up their big ass house. You don't see that what's the Jericho? You don't see the preacher at Jericho giving up that Benz. You don't see nobody giving up their TVs. We don't need this. This is too material for us. We want with the Lord. Here, let me take this back. You don't see nobody doing that. But again, they pull at straws when it comes to their own damnation. Because no one wants to believe, one, that they living in hell, or two, that they going.
And you know what? I want to wrap it up by saying, who's a judge?
Who is?
Because a lot of people will judge you on what you're saying right now. And this is all based on what you know about.
Yeah.
The Bible. The whole purpose of me posting that status was to say who's a judge. And who like all of these comments that I got, I respect and I appreciate each one of them.
Yeah, we respect them.
Yes,
but it says a lot about who we are, because I know each and every person on this that commented personally. I can say that I know each and every person personally, and I have no ill feelings towards none of them, and they all good people.
And they all believe in God.
I can trust each and every person that made a comment on this status. But with that being said, who is to judge? Are we? And it's crazy because in this country, everybody is a judge.
Yeah.
Everybody is a judge.
Yep.
Now, I've come to the realization that, we are born with that curse to judge people. Even though I may not come out and verbally judge somebody, or even though I may not allow my spirit to negatively, outright judge somebody, it's being done.
Correct.
On the spot. I didn't know that the guy, for instance, I was watching that video, Things DC Girls Say. Thought it was hilarious. One of the funniest videos I've seen this year. Didn't know the kid was gay. But he's gay. And I watched a couple of his videos, and he talked about the ignorance of heterosexuals. And he went on to talk about, why is everybody mad at me because I'm gay? He said, I don't disrespect nobody. And he talked about how nobody speaks on how I'm the first one out of my mom's kids to go to college. Nobody talks about how I'm from D.C. and I got accepted to Penn State. He go on and on and on. I was like, you know what? He's right. But if that young gay man walked into a church and expressed himself freely, automatically people will say in their mind he's going to hell.
Yep.
Unless I can change him, or unless he conforms to the good book.
The good book.
Like in our comments, Robert, aka Nathan, said, somebody made the point that there are contradictions in the Bible, and he's saying that through different eras and translation, the Bible's been diluted, and I agree with him, because there have been many different books on the higher power.
Hold on, listen. I got to make this comment real quick. All of these texts are supposed to be the book of life. Mm-hmm. It was never supposed to stop being written. Everything pretty much coincides with the next. So every religion, from Hindu, Buddhist, Judaism, and so on, they all coincide. It was never supposed to stop being written. It's the story of man. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. That is it. People, my opinion is my opinion. This is Remy. It's Remy LeBeau. My opinion is my opinion. Mm-hmm. For anybody who jump out there with me, if you cannot answer the question, what were we before we were slaves? You do not have an argument with me.
And another reason why I pose this question, and I really believe this from the bottom of my heart, I think that this dialogue is what's missing from the church.
I'll agree.
I believe that this very interaction between us right now is what's missing in the church.
Matter of fact, this is church what we just
said. But I think that if more pastors, if more church folks would have this type of dialogue, more people would be attracted to the church. More people would believe in the church, And I think more people would be, I think they would be able to excuse me, I think there'd be less controversy. You know, and as we speak, the comments continue to get heated, from this status. But it goes to show that these things need to be brought up and need to be talked about. The church is very old fashioned, and they must, and I think it needs to change as far as think about it. I look at it like this: you have people that update their statuses on a minute per minute basis throughout their daily lives. They're not going to the altar. They're going to Facebook. They're going to Twitter. You know what I'm saying? YouTube. What have you.
Yeah.
So, and I use that, and I use this specific so-called sin because there's no clear answer to this one.
Correct.
There's no clear-cut answer. People have killed themselves to save their life, if that makes sense.
That is true. That is true.
People have killed themselves to end the suffering.
That is true.
Let me rephrase it like that.
That is true.
So, I just wanted to bring that up, and it was something very, very. It was much deeper than just that status in that situation. But did you want to add anything? Really wrap it up?
Nah, I'm good.
God is love.
Hey, that's what Rick James said, right? You got it straight from the king's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
God is love.
But again, rest in peace to Junior Seau, and also rest in peace to Jasmine Moss, the young lady who was murdered in cold blood by her so-called boyfriend / soon-to-be baby father out in Palmer Park. We're praying for you. That was gonna be a topic for tonight, but of course we got carried away with this situation. But
we'll see you next week.
Yeah. We'll rest in peace to her. But send your comments, send your emails, tweet us, and let us know what you think. And if you have any topics, any other topics, we're trying to cover everything across the board from, like I said, religion, politics.
Yeah.
And I've been talking to a few people, and we do need to touch up on relationships. I don't really know why relationships are such a big deal, because either the person you with gonna like you or they not. That's what it boils down to. All these books and this movie crap. I'm not even gonna go there.
Listen,
shots fired.
We're gonna do that. You want to do that next week?
We can definitely.
Because we can do that next week. Because I'm telling you right now, if you need a book to tell you that your relationship is crap, you blind, deaf, and dumb. Thank you.
True indeed. But this has been another Broke Black Critic conversation featuring myself, Romello Catois,
Remy,
and Lonnie Cabal.
And we'll see y'all next week.
The king.
Like the fire needs the air. Yeah. I won't burn unless you're there. You're there. I need you to hate, so I can use it for energy.
Gotta go in on these type of joints. You right. I ain't gonna lie, you beat your.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
His situation. He knew that he was walking into his death. He went in there knowing that he was going to die. So is that suicide? Damn. So we got a comment.
That's deep.
Where someone said, well, I'll let Romello say it, but keep in mind, this conversation spun into a different, we started talking in a different content at that point. So we're about to read the comment in just a few, but I want to hear people's comment on that. Because I have heard people say, and this is true, it's suicide if you go in there. It's a suicide mission. If I walk down the street with a whole bunch of bloods and I'm wearing all blue, throwing up a gang sign, is that I'm basically committing suicide.
Damn right.
So, did Christ commit suicide?
Well, that's the question that you're posing.
That's the question.
I'm going to ask Lonnie. Lonnie,
yes, sir.
If someone kills themselves just to see Jesus, and that's another thing, people really didn't address that aspect of the comment or the post.
Just to see
Jesus, are they going to hell?
Hold on. Lonnie.
Well, first and foremost, nobody knows. We're all human. That should calculate it, but only God knows.
Welcome everybody to another edition of Broke Black Critics, featuring myself, Romello Catois,
and Remy LeBeau,
and our special guest, Lonnie Long.
King, the King.
So, if you're just now tuning in, and if you haven't been on our show in the past week or so, we have not abandoned, but turned away from the visual aspect of the show. And now we're just, basically keeping the audio. We were trying out some things and, seeing how it play out. So, today was a very interesting day in the media world. And specifically on the topic of religion. And I posed the question on Facebook today for our listeners, viewers,
and this was before. Hold on, and this was before the Junior Seau suicide.
Right. So, first of all, rest in peace to Junior Seau, and our prayers go out to his family. But the question was posed earlier today around, I'm gonna say around 10, 11 o'clock. If someone kills themselves just to see Jesus, are they going to hell? Now, we got a lot of comments. I mean, as of right now, 39 and counting comments. Very few likes, so which means that people would like to be heard versus
liking this.
just giving a like on the click because they feel they have to say something about it. And there are a lot of comments. And so we're going to actually point out a few comments.
Hold on. Look. Hold on. Now,
hold on. Before we read the comments.
Hold on. Let me say what I said.
Hold on. Before we get to that.
Okay.
For those who don't follow the Bible says, "Thou shalt not kill." And within the Bible also, actually Exodus 20 and 13, thanks to Coretta, who was following us on Facebook. Thou shalt not kill. And within the Bible, it says that we should not kill ourselves. It is a sin because we should have faith in God that He will provide and make things better.
Okay. Now, with that being said, the question that I posed, now I got a few comments, but the question that I posed was simply this. Can a person commit suicide? Could they go to their immediate death, knowing that they're going to die? Is that suicide? And with that comment being said, did Jesus commit suicide knowing, because he knew he was going to die? He didn't try to change his.
I don't know. You can't say they will or they won't.
And for those people saying that suicide is a sentence to hell, is a sentence to eternal damnation, that brings us back to a situation or a conversation that we had earlier when we said that the bravest people on the slave ships were the ones that jumped off the boat and committed suicide. So did they? Are they doomed to burn?
Ooh, not been burned.
We know.
Well,
I want to hear from you, because
listen now. To be honest, to be 1,000. According to the good book, you're going to hell.
Hold on. And with that being said, I want these people that comment to hear this, because with that being said, that brought us back to a conversation that we had just prior to getting online. How was it beneficial for a slave master to slave your soul? What was your religion before slavery? You weren't a Christian. And the reason why you're a Christian Because the slave master gave it to you.
Which makes me think, is the Nation of Islam a rebel religion? Because a lot of slaves, once they went free, that hated their masters, turned Muslim.
Well, I'm not 100% sure about that one, cuz.
That's why it's a question.
Oh, no, I don't think that's 100% sure.
And just sitting here talking, we were talking about this earlier, you know, it makes sense for a slave owner to tell a slave that if you kill yourself, you are doomed for eternity. You will burn for eternity.
Because you're his property. He don't want his property to kill himself. I mean...
And once upon a time, you know, the closest sign and resemblance of God was fire. Then, you know, didn't some Greek god, well, Prometheus, wasn't it? They got bound to the rock for giving the humans fire? I could be wrong. Was it Prometheus?
I don't know. We can look it up.
Prometheus bound. You didn't read the book?
Huh? I didn't read the book. Fuck no! I'm not gonna read something that the white man told me to read.